Girl was found shot right to the chest from point-blank range.
So, it's no news anymore. It has been stirring up the gaming community and led to a lot of controversy and disappointment over the past weeks. I'm talking, of course, about Silent Hills being cancelled. I've got a lot of messages of people asking me about how I feel about this whole thing. And what can I say? Of course it makes me sad. Pretty much everybody is sad and disappointed. But to be honest, there's a feeling that's way stronger than sadness. That feeling is confusion. Confusion about the way things went down, confusion about how a developer and publisher studio with a legendary reputation among fans like Konami can turn into one of the most hated corporate villains over the course of just a few weeks, confusion over apparent business decisions that, in all honesty, don't make any sense at all. Granted, a lot of this confusion among the gaming community comes from being left in the dark about pretty much everything, from only getting a glimpse of what's really happening, because something has been happening, that's for sure. But since confusion is a feeling that leaves a mind that's always eager for knowledge in a very agitated state, I believe it will hurt nobody if we put on our tinfoil hats and take a closer look at what happened with the curiosity of a paranoid. So where do we begin? Let's start with P.T. P.T. was awesome, right? It was so awesome that it got everybody out of there craving for a new Silent Hill game. But when you think about it, it's actually quite noteworthy that pretty much the entire gaming community, yes, even the most hardline Silent Hill fanbase, agreed on the fact that this game is going to be awesome. Because if history has taught us anything about the gaming community, then it is that gamers don't like changes to their beloved and established franchises. Gamers constantly cry for innovation and new ideas, but when change is actually being presented, especially to an established IP, there is bound to be a hate train incoming. What P.T. and the Silent Hill concept movie at the TGS 2014 showed of the upcoming new entry in the franchise is actually extremely far from what we've come to know from every other major entry in the Silent Hill series. It shifts the game to a first-person perspective, it doesn't show any combat at all, and it is an extremely new concept. But as I said, even the most hardcore Silent Hill fans were down to clown with this. This is not normal. And it is because of the ingenious way Konami announced the game. Because when P.T. hit the PlayStation Store in August 2014, not a soul out there knew that it had anything to do with the Silent Hill franchise, with Konami, Hideo Kojima or Guillermo del Toro. No one. Konami deliberately left people in the dark for over a week until the first person was able to beat the teaser and reveal its true nature. Before that happened, the game had already managed to acquire a fanbase on its own, and when the actual bomb hit, it hit hard. This marketing campaign took a lot of balls, but in the end, it managed to make pretty much the entire gaming community canonically hyped for what can only be described as a drastic new interpretation of one of the most beloved franchises in gaming history. And it showed that whoever was behind this, including Konami, has an extremely good sense of which buttons to press in their community, of how the internet works, because that is sadly necessary in the modern AAA business. A game won't be financially profitable without any hype. Publishers like EA, Activision and Ubisoft realize more and more how people grow numb of the typical hype campaigns for their cash cows. Everybody's tired of it, sales are declining. But P.T. was fresh, this was exciting, and this hit the perfect tone for the game it announced. So, as I said, these guys, they know how to handle the public, they know how the internet works, and they know the dynamics of viral power. And this fact makes everything that Konami has done in the past weeks seem so extremely out of place, because literally every statement regarding the status of Silent Hills and their company's restructurization seemed so extremely clumsy that it again and again seemed to cause the internet to boil over. And as much as Konami highlights that their decisions are focused on the business aspect of the company, in all honesty, it makes no sense at all. And it makes you wonder, how can the company that has just launched one of the most courageous and brilliant marketing campaigns in video game history suddenly turn into public relations amateurs that drop one brick after the other? Trick question, they didn't. Let's look at what happened. It all started with Kojima's name being removed from Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and the announcement that Kojima and Konami have come to a disagreement and parted ways, but that Kojima will continue to work on the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Notice that they said franchise, not only The Phantom Pain. Kojima himself has been whisper quiet about the whole incident and continued to happily post about ramen, movies, and a lot of Metal Gear Solid stuff. When I heard this, it instantly raised two questions in my mind. One, why on God's earth did Konami and Kojima get in a disagreement over the development of Metal Gear Solid 5 at this late phase of development? I mean, It's not new that Kojima and Konami haven't always been eye to eye in their vision for Metal Gear Solid. Kojima was always a visionaire, each project getting substantially more expensive than the last one, while Konami was of course way more interested in their sales figures. But at this point in development, both parties have signed contracts that set everything in stone. A company like Konami can't allow to run the production of a multi-million-dollar project like this like a naive team of first-time indie developers. So yeah, we don't know the reasons, we don't know what really happened, but it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense from a business standpoint. And secondly, why does Kojima pretend like nothing ever happened? No press announcement, no interview, not a single tweet that implies anything has ever happened. So the most logical explanation would be that he has signed a non-disclosure agreement with Konami, that he isn't allowed to speak about the cancellation openly. Makes sense, right? Okay, then let's go with that and keep that in mind and get back to Silent Hills. Because since that Metal Gear Solid incident, people started speculating if Silent Hills would ever see the light of day, but nothing was ever confirmed by Konami. It was Guillermo del Toro who made it public when he was asked about the game at San Francisco Film Festival in late April. It's not gonna happen and it breaks my greasy heart. Hours later, Norman Reedus, the actor that was supposed to play the role of the main character, confirmed the cancellation via Twitter. So yeah, Silent Hills is dead. But wait, didn't we just agree that Kojima shuts up about the whole cancellation debacle because he must have signed an NDA? So if he, as one of the two directors of the game, had to sign an NDA, why the fuck is Guillermo del Toro, the other director of the game, freed of any non-disclosure agreements and is allowed to talk about it as he pleases in public? And even the actor, why the hell is he free to talk his mind openly when Kojima shuts up entirely? Because if only Del Toro would have said it, I could have been convinced that this was an accidental leak of information, but both confirming this at the same time? Sorry, but this is highly conspicuous. But notice what suddenly happened with PT. The playable teaser was out for a month, but it instantly became the most downloaded game in the entire PlayStation network. This cancellation dominated the gaming press. It was everything everybody talked about. And Konami, they waited for days. They left the people time to speculate, to conspire, to discuss until they officially confirmed the cancellation. And once again, Silent Hills became by far the hottest topic in the gaming community. Nothing came close in clickbaitiness. The PT demo got even more popular in the PlayStation Store because Konami announced that they'll remove it from the store. And a few days later, they'd even prevent people from downloading it, even if they got it in their library already. Now you tell me, why would they even want to do that? Why would they prevent people from playing the game? It doesn't cost them anything. A game they invested a shitload of money in, and a game that has received praises and accolades and shows just how much potential Konami as a game developer still has, how relevant they still are. They went even further and now it gets really crazy. Konami actively removed YouTube videos that tried to shed a light on the whole affair with fraudulent copyright claims, most notably the investigation by Super Bunny Hop that was taken down because of 7 seconds of completely unrelated Metal Gear Rising footage. Of course, this didn't prevent the message from being spread, quite the contrary. The video was reinstated by YouTube itself, something that never ever happens. YouTube pretty much always refrains from intervening in copyright affairs, and it was instantly covered by every gaming website and blog out there, gaining hundreds of thousands of views overnight. We live in an information age with a collective intelligence that doesn't forget. The internet doesn't forget. Do you really believe Konami didn't know that? This is the company that just showed a month ago how ingeniously capable they are in summoning and orchestrating the power of virality to create an unparalleled hype about a game that no one has ever seen a single picture of so far. I really can't believe that this company honestly believes that they are able to suppress the flow of information by removing a not overly popular YouTube video. They knew that this would make this video even more popular, and I believe that they were well aware that this would make Silent Hills again the most discussed topic on the internet. And if you actually watch the video, it wasn't even overly incriminating. It just summarized what happened and conspired a little about what could have happened. No, this is hardly content that could cause Konami any more harm than they brought upon themselves. Normally, a copyright claim takes weeks to settle on YouTube. This one was removed in a matter of hours. And what did it cause? More conspiracies, more people talking about PT, more people downloading the game before it's too late, more fucking viral attention. People started selling PS4s with PT installed for an insane amount of money on eBay. More press. Konami even let eBay remove these auctions. More press. Honestly, what benefit in the world would Konami have from preventing people to sell their bloody PlayStations? There is only one. More attention for Silent Hills. More people suddenly realizing how frustrated they are that the game will never be, how badly they wanted to play this game. Because that's how people work. They want what they can't have way more than what's right in front of them. Almost instantly, a petition on change.com that tries to persuade all parties to continue the work on Silent Hills was put up, and it garnered over 150,000 signatures in only a few days. Even Guillermo del Toro has stated that he'd add his signature and that he hasn't lost all hope. Norman was super happy, Hideo was super happy, and so was I. I know that there's a petition going on the internet and it's gathering signatures. I would add my signature to it and hope that someone pays attention. It's a truly great mythology and too great a storytelling arena to let die. It's too good. I mean, do you see what Konami has done here? They have created a legend, a myth, a holy grail among games, something everybody craves for more than ever, without showing anything of the game so far. Do you realize how ingenious that is? So, okay, a few days later, the next bomb. Polygon reported that Konami's CEO has said in an interview that he believes the future of gaming to not lie in the AAA business, but in the mobile market. And again, everybody couldn't believe what they heard. And to be honest, it doesn't make much sense in the content of Silent Hills, or at least as a reason for the cancellation. But let's assume it is one of those delusions that CEOs sometimes suffer from when they suddenly see that the gaming future lies in dubious free-to-play models or in the not at all, at this point, oversaturated mobile market. Even if that is the case, that is no reason at all to burn everything they've got going on at the moment. PT was a very expensive project. A lot of money has already been put into the development of Silent Hills at this point, and it has a very healthy hype built around it, speaking from a business perspective. This title is ripe, and its financial success is almost guaranteed. So even if Kojima and Del Toro wouldn't continue to work on the game, Konami could just release a half-assed shovelware title and it would print money just because the whole world is curious about it. Canceling this project at this point because Konami decided to focus on mobile games now is as though someone filled the trunk of my car with gold ingots and said, hey, you just gotta drive over to the bank and cash out $30 million. But I'd say, nah man, I just realized that I only want to deal in diamonds from now on. And then I'd throw a fucking Molotov cocktail on the car and shoot it with a bazooka afterwards. It makes no fucking sense to just flush a safe investment down the toilet because they just feel like it. This is a gigantic concern with thousands of employees worldwide, and it's the 5th largest company in the world by revenue. This company didn't get there because they just have little hunches here and there. They got there because they were smart over the course of decades. This is a profit-oriented company. Why in the world would they throw away such a promising project? It just doesn't add up. And finally, let's not forget that we're talking about a Hideo Kojima project here. He has been quiet the entire time, didn't say a word about Silent Hill since the rumors of its cancellation started. And as we've said, it's very unlikely that it's because of a non-disclosure agreement, because Del Toro and readers have been free to talk their minds with no consequences, while Kojima pretends that nothing has ever happened. Am I really supposed to believe that a passionate game developer with a childlike enthusiasm and love for the project he's worked on, that has just been robbed of one of his most passionate projects in life, a guy that openly shares his everyday life, his lunch, his movies he enjoys on Twitter, is not in the slightest bit disappointed and has nothing to say about the whole affair? Kojima has always been a prankster. He always loved to mislead people and surprise them with something no one would have ever anticipated. Everything around Silent Hills has been extremely unconventional so far. Everything starting from a teaser launch without any word of the game's existence beforehand whatsoever. And everything that has happened around this game has made it more and more popular and desirable without exception. Now, I know this is all highly unlikely, extremely speculative, and probably just a huge conspiracy theory, but my gut tells me that Silent Hills is actually not dead. that this game might end up to become the most epic Kojima moment in video game history. And you might probably ask if I have any proof for this, and of course I don't. All I have is this testimony.
Kojima is messing with you. Mark my words. Silent Hills is coming. Bitches!
So thanks for watching this special episode of Monsters of the Week. Now it's your turn to crucify me in the comments section. Until then, remember, the truth is out there.